Good evening. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. I am so honored to be here with you tonight for Sheroic Speaks, where Black women speak out loud and unapologetically. I am so excited. There's a lot going on. It is August. Let me tell you that part first. If you don't know it, it is August, right? August means for me and us at Ribbon, this week we celebrated 14 years of providing service, community engagement, doing this work. Two Black women, Vanessa Johnson and myself, started Ribbon 14 years ago out of broken pieces. We both came from two different organizations and came from broken pieces. And I always get astonished when I think about how did this happen? How do we put our minds together with intention to do something different, to do something and build a space, build a safe space to both work, to learn, to teach, and to grow? And that's really the essence of what tonight is about. Talking about out loud how unwavering commitments that Black women have to our communities. Whether you're working in the health industry, clothing industry, retail, pharmacy, food, you're in the grocery store, Black women everywhere. Wherever we do, we bring a different level of unwavering commitment to improve others' lives. Women stand as community pillars by themselves. Definitely in the HIV community, we in the chronic disease community, Vanessa, I, and those of us at Ribbon, all the whole team have had great opportunities. So we're not just celebrating us, we're celebrating all Black women. This week, this month, this episode of Sheroic Speaks, I'm so excited as we begin to cast out vision, right? How did Ribbon start? How did Sheroic start? We started casting out vision. And that's what we're going to talk about. How do you start? How have Black women come to this place and really transform everything from HIV, chronic disease, health equity, and communities every day? We do it every day. But tonight, we're simply just celebrating. I'm going to keep saying we're celebrating because I want us not to celebrate. Probably like many of y'all, I don't just celebrate my birthday one day. I celebrate the whole month. And actually, when I turned 50, I started celebrating my birthday on the 3rd of every month. Because we're not promised the next. So I figured, like, celebrate me. Linda, you did a good job the last 30 or 31 days. It won't perfect. Excellence don't mean without stripes or dots. Excellence means I did it with full intent. I gave it all that I had to give it, and I gave it with passion and love. It's just like when I say ribbon, a center of excellence. That don't mean we're perfect. That don't mean we're the only ones that do it. That means we do it with intention, we do it with commitment, we do it with passion, and we do it with love. That is what excellence is. Wow. Let me stop. I want to say, ladies, if this is your first night with us, welcome home. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. We're excited. I always want to thank our great, generous sponsors for helping us over here with Sheroic Speaks. That would be Vive Healthcare and Gilead Sciences. I always want to give them a hand for how they're pouring in and committing to the work and the things that our community, but particularly Black women, are doing in and around our health and health equity spaces as a whole. So, before I get going too far, because this is going to be a strong meeting, a strong conversation, we got a lot to talk about, and I have four wonderful guests. Four wonderful guests. Before I introduce the guests, I want you to drop into the chat. I want you to drop into the chat um something that makes you smile when you think about celebration. Because that's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to celebrate. We're getting ready to celebrate. We're going to invite you to participate with us tonight. Drop in the chat, drop in your questions, make your comments. Ladies, again, if you're new, you might don't know. This is not just us talking. We want you to talk too. In future episodes, we're actually going to be bringing some of y'all on live so that you can be interacting with us. But stronger and better things are happening. We're moving forward. We're doing great things. Now, I've done all the preliminaries. It is my honor to bring four of my sisters into this space. I am getting ready to bring on four fabulous Black women who all are leading in different spaces, different facets, but they all are leading and they're doing great things for Black women. Um, if you're a leader and you know you're doing things for Black women, drop it in the chat. Let us know who you are so we can pull you into this conversation, whether this episode or the next. So I want to first invite Delphina Ward. Come on in, Delphina. We have Miss Manzana Bryant going to be with us. Kim Moon is with us. And Shauna R. Cooper is with us tonight. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for being with us, ladies, ladies, ladies. Welcome to Sheroic Speaks. I'm so excited. I got goosebumps over here. I love all of these Black women, ladies. I just y'all know me. I just find it a blessing to have been centered around so much great Blackness, right? This melanin thing that we got, it's just some secret sauce, and I don't apologize for it. I ain't apologizing that I get to call on, I get to work with Black, beautiful women. I'm allowed them to say something in a minute, but I just wanted to tell you something special for me. I always like to give people jewels. I'm gonna go in the order that I gave them. Delphine, I don't even know where we met. I don't even know where we met, but I remember we fell in love. I heard about this sister. I heard about her, and I had not met her. I think we started working together before I actually met you.
Mhm.
And that's Black women. She saw me, I saw her, and we started pouring. Like we both had a glass with something in that was a secret sauce. Manzana came to us through one of our ribbon programs a couple years ago. Our dadas around the country.
Dadas,
And
yes.
that's right. Every since she has shown up and she just shows her great magic. The work that she does is meaningful and powerful. Wow, Kim. Y'all know Kim is on staff at Ribbon. Now we snatched her. I don't know where we snatched her from. She showed up at a training, and I said, "Where she come from?" This little country peach. She's a country peach. I love her, but from the moment she came in, she's jumped in and started growing. She's been around, but just her ability to do, to create, to imagine, like the leadership that Kim. I just love. Because I love that. Like that's how you invest in sisterhood. Like you see it, they want it, and allow them to create it. Also, my other sister girl, she know it. Shauna Cooper. I think among y'all, I've known Shauna the longest. Me and Shauna worked together in our past life and our past traumatic work life, right? I talked about that earlier. But we came here to heal together. Shauna is a great woman. She's has many jobs, many professions, multifaceted. So I love you, but I'm gonna stop talking for a second. Delphine, talk. I'm gonna have all the ladies gonna say something. And then we got some questions. We got some discussion to happen. Go ahead, Delphine.
Let's go. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Daphne Ward. I live in the low country of South Carolina, and I want to say happy birthday anniversary to Ribbon. It is amazing. I can't believe it's been 14 years. And you may not remember, Dr. Linda, but I first met you. I heard you speak at an event that a funder was having, I think in Memphis, Tennessee, maybe. I could be wrong, but it was almost 20 years ago. And it was when I
Right.
was a baby in this work and I was figuring out how did I land here? I was just practicing law a year ago. And now here I am doing work around HIV justice in the South. And you were one of the first women, you and Dazon and a couple of others, some of the first that I saw modeling what it looks like to lead in
Oh
the work
wow.
and apologetically as Black women. So you were pouring into me before you even knew me. I want to give you your flowers and let you know
Thank
that
you.
I'm glad to be here with everyone else. But I guess it's supposed to be an introduction. I'm just excited to be here. It says here that I'm with Nia Creative Solutions. I'll talk a little bit about my leadership journey as we go through this, but it's just an honor to be in space with folks you want to be in space with. We all have traumatic stories coming from organizations that have caused harm. And I think we've all made the decision that we don't want to perpetuate harm. on
Yes.
Black women or anyone else in our work. And so I'm just honored to be here with all of you, and glad that you thought enough to ask me to be among the number. But I'm thankful for you and for Vanessa and your leadership and for all the work of Ribbon and Manzana and Shauna. It is nice to meet both of you and be connected to you. Shauna, we might be cousins. Cooper is my maiden name, so we might be related. And, we all related. So thank you for having me. And I'm excited about this conversation.
All right, hey, all right. I can make a comment, but I ain't. I'm gonna keep going. Come on, Manzana. Come on, talk to us, sister.
Hello everyone. Hello, greetings. My name is Mazana Bryant. I hail from Statesboro, Georgia, originally from South Carolina. Whoop whoop. For the South Carolina, we might be kid, so be
We might be.
careful. But beyond the titles and everything that there's to offer, you can't do this work without love, first of all, and being real human and having a heart and coming from a place where you actually understands each individual, regardless of gender, race, color, whatever it may be. You have to understand that people are humans, and that's what got me into this work, doing this work, because coming from complexity of Georgia. That's all I can say. 'Cause this is live, but I do not apologize for my sisters and believing my sisters need a safe space. They need to be heard, and they are most of the inventors.
That's right.
Believe it or not, the Black woman is actually the inventor. So
Yes.
today, I'm just happy to be here. I thank you, Linda. Thank you, Ribbon. And to all these other panel of ladies, thank you. Much love.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna smile. My teeth's gonna be hurting in the morning. Kim, come on up, darling.
So thank you, Linda, for the invitation, for being here. So just to tell you a little bit about me, on the personal side, I'm a woman of faith. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a survivor. You know, a woman living boldly with HIV and openly with HIV, because that's not everybody's story. But I spent my life prior to working at Ribbon. I heard you, Delphina, but unfortunately, I have not been through the hurt that you're talking about, because I've only worked at Ribbon. I did a little bit of work with some other people as far as HIV, but Ribbon is the only organization that I've worked for in this field, because I spent my life, I built, I had two businesses, commercial cleaning and catering and craft services on movie sets. And I met Linda. I went through one of their trainings, and from there we clicked. And so it's been that ever since, because I think I lived in depression for 10 years after being diagnosed. And so when I started working for them, my mind just started clicking about the things, that I wanted to see happen for us. Look, us, Black women. So I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be, working with Linda and having somebody who I can go to and say, hey, have you thought about this? Because you remember, Linda, when I came and I was like, so I was thinking, we was talking about the epic movement then, and I was like, oh, the magazine, the podcast, and the university. And Linda was like, okay, if I had something I could show you, I've been thinking about those things too. And so we went from there. So I love every ounce of this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here she come, y'all. Here she come. Here she come. Pulling out of the gates is Shauna R. Cooper. She like me. Y'all know I use that H. Shauna R. Cooper. I love
Hey,
it.
yeah, I'm a daddy's girl, so the R stands for Ray, named after my dad. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Linda and Ribbon, for extending the invitation for me and the ladies on this panel to be here, and for us to speak loud and unapologetically as we hold this conversation about leadership and all that comes with it. I too am from South Cackalack, right? So,
I'm feeling some type of way
cousin,
about
we'll be
this.
talking
Because Linda,
later.
aren't you from South Carolina too?
Yeah.
I'm feeling some type of way.
I thought about it.
Right.
I said, wait a minute. I ain't got no east. I ain't got no Northwest ladies. I'm coming. I'm coming, ladies from the Northwest. I'm coming. All right.
You're right. I'm near the low country, but my family is from the low country. So yes, indeed. But Linda and I have been together for some time. She's very modest in the introduction, but we met not too long after me graduating from grad school. I moved to the DC metro area. This was the second job that I had there. Tried to make a first impression, but you know what? That first week, I almost burned the office down with that popcorn. Right? Kept it in the microwave a little too long, and I said, "These people gonna let me go." But she kept me, and I don't know if I said it, but I probably hadn't said it enough. But I learned a lot from Linda. My background is evaluation, but I've learned leadership through her, and she has helped mold me to the woman I am today. So I can't thank you enough for that. She's one of the few people I can't say no to. So again, thank you for this. I look forward to the conversation and engaging and learning with the women here on the panel. So thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all know. Thank you. I'm just gonna say thank you to that. That's interesting because it leads into my next question. Let's start a discussion, right? One of the things when we talk about leadership, people be like, the question, what's the famous question? Were you born a leader or did you become a leader, right? I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is that most of us, at some point, we realized we were leaders. At one point, like I did not know that the life HIV would lead me to this space, and I don't necessarily know if I know the moment that I knew I was a leader. But I do want to ask you guys: when you think about where you sit now, do you remember like the time frame or something about when you realized I am lead. I'm like they're listening to me. I am guiding folks. I am strengthening folks. I think my first notice was in 1996. I was at Hopkins working as a peer advocate. I was a peer advocate at Hopkins, and I had the luxury to go to California to what you remember the women's conferences. Like in 1994, they had a couple women's conferences. Then the last one was in '96, and I had went twice because I was on staff and I went to Hopkins and I said I need money because I want to take 5 of my ladies. Like these ladies come to the clinic, they're helping, and they made me help raise money. And Hopkins heard me. They like gave me money. The ladies trust me. None of them had never been on a plane. Like and I was I was in Hollywood, and I'm like these ladies is in this little teeny Hyundai with me. Like all 6 of us is in this little teeny Hyundai, and they was with me. And I remember that. I think that was the moment that I realized that I could lead. Because I took these women out of every little box they had, and they trusted me. It wasn't no big program. I ain't got no big money. It was the fact that I had women from a hood that I had never been part of. I'd been part of them long enough that they trusted me. So I want to just ask y'all, like, what was that moment? When did you realize you were leading? What y'all want? I know all of y'all want me to call on y'all. Come on up, Shauna, and then I'm gonna go to Delphine. And all right, mess with y'all.
Um, I'm an introvert by nature. I'm slowly starting to come out of that shell, but I've always assumed roles and positions where I was in the background. Hence why I chose evaluation as starting point for a career, because you're in the background and you're observing and you're taking notes or whatever the case may be. So when people would ask me to do things or saw something in me that I hadn't seen in myself, that I think jump started it, but it was a personal experience that kind of pushed me out there. And that personal experience was being in a relationship that was abusive. So during that time, I felt as though I lost my voice. And that's when the entrepreneurship part of my journey had come into place. So I began um, making things. And so my voice was through my hands. And over time, it extended to actually being my voice, using my words to take onus of what was going on in my life, control of what was going on in my life, and then believing in myself that I can lead, not only myself first and then others. So for me, it was a series of things that led to that evolution, and then just taking the bull by the horn now and embracing that role, and I'm actually enjoying it. So yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Who else? Who want to talk about it? I know I got some more for you.
Well, I love what both you and Shauna said about leadership, because neither of you talked about being appointed into a position. Nobody talked about titles. I mean, Linda, you made a decision to act, and people followed. Because are you really a leader if folks don't trust you to follow you? You know, you just out there walking by yourself. So you built that trust and you just did the thing. And I love how Shauna just recognizing that leadership isn't, it doesn't always have to be so big. I think we get made to feel like you're not a leader if other people aren't talking about what you're doing, or if everybody doesn't see what you're doing. And leadership is really about making an impact. And that can
That's
be
right.
small or big. But I think first it's realizing you trust yourself to make decisions that may impact other people. I mean, for me, I think very young, I realized I was bold enough to ask questions other people wouldn't ask. Like, you knew stuff was wrong, but you ain't gonna say no. I'm gonna say something, and I'm like, oh, that's leadership, right? And so I think at an early age, I'm sure if you ask my parents, they'll agree. Like at an early age, I knew something ain't right. We need to do something about it. Or you don't want to make a decision, I'll make a decision. And sometimes I thought I was leading, and I was completely wrong. That's another thing.
That's right.
A lot of time. But bold enough to, bold enough to lead. And I think a lot of us, and it's particularly for Black women, we don't give ourselves the breathing room to lead in our everyday life, or other folks don't want to grant us that, right? And we have to take it. And I think it's recognizing that leadership is very much about being empowered and doing your thing and being unapologetic about it.
Wow. Wow. Kim, I don't know if you and Manzana want me to go on. Y'all want to respond?
Well, I'll just say this: leadership was not something that I initially pursued. It's kind of like it was something that life required of me. You know what I mean? I didn't want it. I just wanted to do what I was doing and keep moving. But you and Vanessa, y'all wouldn't leave me alone. I was good with telling y'all what was in my head, and y'all wouldn't leave me alone, so I didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like Shauna, I was like you. Let me be this introvert. Now, I'm kind of like both, an introvert and an extrovert, but I prefer that introvert because I wanted to be just to myself. And that had partly to do with, the rape. And so you all forced it out of me, like, yeah, girl, kind of come on here. You about to go. Let's go. Let's do this. I didn't have a choice. Because really, I was just trying to survive. I was trying to survive. I remember when the first task you gave me was Mazononym with the Dadas, the 50. No, what was it?
25. It's 25.
Over 50. And we took them to USCHA. You gave me that, and I had to, corral them and stay in touch with them and get them together. And it worked, but I was worried. I didn't show that, but I was worried, like,
I love,
Lord.
I love, I love it. But that's real talk though, Kim. Often folks don't think there's some fear, there's some anxieties that go with leading.
Yeah.
And trusting yourself. Not only other people trusting you, are you trusting yourself? Even what Delphine talked about, making mess ups. Like you can lead somebody down the wrong ditch, but are
Right.
you unapologetic enough to say, "Well, it was a good idea while I was thinking it." I'm sorry.
Right.
Let me get y'all some alcohol and rub them muscles. But owning
Right.
that is part of it. Manzana, I see you. Come on, darling.
Okay. Yes, yes. Mine came in 2008 when I ventured to Atlanta to Someone Cares. They had an all trans symposium, and this is my first time seeing other Black trans like me, myself, Tori Cooper, all the other girls. And I realized in my little southeastern district, we wasn't getting all this stuff for healthcare. And if I didn't do it, and a good friend of mine who was Ivania Pollard, if we didn't do it, who would do it? So sometimes you not forced into leadership, but you take it on because you want to create that safe space for who you see yourself to be and who you want others to be, and you just want to sometimes help. So my leadership is basically on helping, safe spaces, and basically just being people as humans and seeing, making us more than just data and statistics, because in the early 2000s trans people was just data, statistics.
That's right.
That's all we were numbers. We was never at the table. So thank you guys for offering us and bringing us to the table
That's
to be seen and to be heard.
I love it. I love it. I thank you. I saw in the chat. I think it was Denise said, Shirley Tism. But there's so many, and even Manzana said it early. When we think about the thousands of black women, and none of them said, "Oh, I'm just gonna grow up and do like great things," right? But you're right, Kim. Whether somebody puts you in or some, I know for me, it was like this voice, and I wasn't saved, so I couldn't say it was the Holy Ghost. I don't know, it was something in there that said you can't be quiet. Like not this time. Cause there's an introvert in me. Like when we go off, y'all,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wash this face, take off these shoes, and go up in my room by myself and be fine. I'm just saying, right? But I want to ask you, I want to transition a little bit. Y'all have already started this part of the conversation.
I'm sorry, can I make one
All
point? I just want to,
yeah.
if you don't mind. So what I'm getting from everyone sharing is that that's just the nature of Black women, right? We recognize the gifts and the talents in each other. We provide a nurturing and safe
Oh,
space and facilitate and encourage you to share those gifts because, you know, um, our resources are limited when you look at the totality of what others have and then what we have. That's just been what we've done since the beginning. That's just in our nature to, you know, uh, I think all of us to a degree have some capacity to lead. I just think when you're in spaces like this, I just think it provides a community where it's easy to do that, to lead or to
Wow.
participate in capacity as a leader.
And
Okay.
Linda, can I say this? And I'm only saying this for women who are watching this, and might feel like, okay, I'm not a leader or I'm not. And this is the thing. I had to understand that leadership is not always about standing behind a podium or having a title. Sometimes leadership is being the first person in the room willing to tell the truth. Sometimes it's asking the questions, like Davina said, that nobody else is asked. That's leadership. You know what I mean?
I do.
Sometimes being that person that can reach back and help the next one. So I just
And
wanted to
showing
say
up.
that for people who watching, because you know how we have some women that are watching feel less than. I don't want them to feel that, because just because you ain't on this platform or you ain't standing behind somebody's podium does not mean you're not a leader.
I love it. Thank you both. Y'all see, y'all know what? We got some synergy here. I'm gonna tell you what my next conversation was. We all are working in a hard place. Like right now in our community, things are rough and they tough. And even Shauna thought she was gonna go into a deep dive, and women keep getting the short stick. What inspires you to keep fighting like the same fight? Like how many of us keep fighting the same fight? We do it different, but what inspires you to keep staying this fight for change?
Well, I'll start and just say I transitioned out of a leadership role a year ago this month, and I heard a podcast, and this sister said last a little over a year ago, and I decided to transition, and she said I deserve to live a good life during hard times. And I have carried that with me ever since then, because I think for many of us, to your point, we keep fighting these same fights against these foes who just keep creating new weapons against us, right? And
Wow.
so it's like we recognize though, like I deserve to live a good life during hard. So I'm gonna keep fighting, but I'm gonna fight my way, and I'm gonna
That's
keep
right.
my joy and keep my peace. But I'm gonna keep fighting, and the fight might look different. But I
Yes,
think we
sir.
have to recognize that we're like that we are worthy of what's on the other side of the battle, and that's why we keep fighting. It's like
I
a
love
saying,
it.
because
I
Black women
love it.
deserve all the things, right? So when things are hard, we still deserve a good life. So we also, I love that Kim spoke to the women who are listening, because you deserve to live a good life when things are hard. You
That's
don't
right.
have to not have a good life because the world is trying to turn against us. Don't
You
feel guilty because you take time for yourself. Don't feel guilty because you're taking care of yourself or because you don't want to engage. That's okay too. But we've been made to feel like the fight is ours and ours alone, and it's not.
That ain't true. That ain't true. I got in trouble recently. I got in trouble recently. I'm always in trouble. It's good trouble though. It's good trouble. Cause I told somebody the truth. When we started ribbon, me and Vanessa was real clear. We weren't working with what we didn't want to work with. We weren't going to do what we need to do, and you had to use some KY if you came real for real. We was real clear. We came with a black girl privilege space, and people's like, well, how are you going to tell people you're not going to do? Easy. It's grants we don't take. It's opportunities we don't take because we know what it's going to cost us. We may never have a budget another organization have, and we okay with that because to have what we have, this peace, and I love you said it, we deserve, you deserve that space. You know, Manzana, I'm gonna ask you, why are you fighting? What is the fight, and how do you maintain it in this space?
It's not easy to maintain, but I maintain it by keeping my faith.
Mm,
Faith is a very big part of me. I mean, I grew up in a Christian background, but of course, and my mom always taught me, if she taught me nothing else in living this life, my mom was my best friend, my confidant, my world. And she always told me, if you're going to do something, you do it right and you do it unselfishly and don't
mm.
apologize for no one what you do as long as you are yourself at all times and let no one change you because institutions, people, everything will try to change you to conform to what they want. Just be you and be your authentic self at all times, and that'll get you further than anything else.
I love
And
it.
that's why I do the work.
I
I like to
love.
see the smile that I put on my other black trans sisters and trans men face.
I,
To see someone like me in their spot.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask you, ladies, just quick for a second. I want to pivot because you're right, Kim. As we're talking, to the ladies, as y'all are in the room, y'all aren't in my living room. We're just sitting in different parts of the room. I got a big living room. Um, you know, I want to talk because often, even some of you did it about me. You talk about how you learned from somebody, right? Do you have an experience where you were leading and you found yourself learning from someone with you?
Every
I,
day,
every,
every single
um,
day. Like we should
yeah,
all be
constant.
students of learning, of life and learning.
Yeah, Kim. Everybody ain't leading, ain't students of life and
Because
learning.
I believe,
Say
yeah,
what?
I also believe that when you stop learning, there's always something to learn because nobody know everything. You're not born with everything, so therefore you always learning. Every day is a learning experience, so never ever stop learning. I'm learning right now at this moment. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm in this space. So long as you keep learning, you're not dead. Because once you're dead, you can't learn no more.
I love it.
And learning is not.
I love it. So you're
So
in the space. My Delphina talked about being in the space a year ago. Was a pivotal time of change, learning in spaces. Shauna, you on the comment? You had something. You like you had something to say. I don't want to leave you out. Did you mute yourself?
Just like Kim mentioned, learning every day. But I would say, as a parent, as a single parent, I'm learning um, just by being a mom. I don't always make the best decisions, but I do teach my son that if I'm wrong, I'm first to admit that I'm wrong and I apologize and say why I was wrong. So I'm learning through his lens his worldview and how things are, and just being mindful and trying to, how things were when I grew up is totally different now, and that's okay. But just like meeting him where he is and learning that as a parent, it's okay to not do parent as I was parented by my parents. So that's just what I want to say. I am learning. The job thing is one thing, but as a parent, I'm learning something totally different. It's like every day is something new. So yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take a deep dive with y'all. I'm shifting. I'm just letting you know. You know we're on the highway and the road say all lanes is getting ready to shift, right? We got less than 30 minutes. I got the shift, right? Ladies, get ready. We're gonna do the raffle. You can start dropping your names in the chat. I remind you, we're not gonna do it to the end. I'm gonna ask Chris, he's over there with the wheel. We'll call you out. But I want to shift for a second, ladies. I want to do a deep dive. This is me saying this. The ladies didn't say this. I said this, all right? Black women have always led movements. Even when we want the face to be seen, we have always led movements and often unrecognized, often not given recognition, yet always we did what we did with purpose. I want to say that. Black women have always led movements. Even when we want the face of the movement, in capacities we have led, right? You ain't got to agree, nobody got to say amen. I'm just saying that's the framework I'm getting ready to come from. Where you sit now, I'm gonna ask a couple questions. Think about which one you want to talk from. Where are black women making the greatest impact you see today in our community? What barriers still concern you about how black women are intersecting in our community? What gives you hope for the future when we're talking specifically about HIV and health equity? What courage would it take to encourage new generations of black women to join this movement of difference? So, what's the greatest impact you see we're doing today? What still concerns you about the barriers? What gives us hope for the HIV future and health equity? And about moving other young black women into this space. That's what I want to talk about for a few minutes. Let's take a dive into it.
I'll start. That was a lot of questions.
And,
A lot of
but just,
questions.
which one you want to come
I'm gonna
from?
start with the first question around where we see Black women in this moment, because I think that's all of them are important, but particularly right now, we know about the attack on Black women in the workforce. We've seen what's happened over the past year and some change, and Black women are still showing up. I think we are again modeling for folks what it looks like to be entrepreneurs, what it looks like to be creative, what it looks like to make things happen challenging times. And as you mentioned, most movements begin locally. Like movement work begins like where you are, where you live, where you work and play and worship. And I think Black women are very much leaning into making a difference wherever we are. And I think at the end of the day, with all the madness around us, I think that's what's going to sustain us and move us forward. So I think in spite of all these forces coming against us, and the economic impact of all of that, we're still finding a way. Seeing Black women show up as leaders in new ways and also leading very much locally. So, all the big stuff, we talk about the big fancy leadership. Yeah, that's necessary and that's nice. But I see Black women honing in, taking care of their children and communities and families, making sure people can vote, in a very local way. And I think that's going
Yes.
to be critically important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vote.
Yes.
Okay. I love that. I love that. So Delphine hit it on our great impact, what black women are doing, how they're showing up. What concerns us? What still are some of the barriers we're addressing? What gives us hope?
Can I answer that? Can I take a stab at that one, if
You
you
want
don't
to take? You want
mind?
to add something to it?
Yeah, I want to say.
Hey, you it?
Okay. So I want to mention something before I answer the question. I was watching this YouTube video. There was a documentary, and there was an Indian male, maybe in his 20s, and he was relocating from whatever country he is from in Asia to the United States. And he said his mom told him, if you ever found yourself in any trouble, find a black woman.
Wow.
Find a black woman. I also remember, and I don't know if it was, I don't want to quote the person, say the person name. I don't know if it was Alice Walker, maybe someone else, when it talks about, all of the racial injustice that happens. You may find how certain races may present anger towards black people in general. It doesn't matter your age. Like they will rock both buses, shaking them, making the bus tilt over. Would never who can do that to any child. We always have this protective mechanism, wanting to help, wanting to protect, wanting to nurture. So I just wanted to. Dafina said something that made me think about that.
Bus is shaking us.
Hmm?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, but as far as like the greatest impact, like we are everywhere, really. Black women are leading nonprofits. They are the fastest growing group that are starting businesses. We're shaping policy. We're just not waiting for permission to do anything. I don't ever really think that we have ever waited for permission. We are creating our own tables, one piece of wood at a time, and we're not asking for permission to do this. We're just doing it. We see it, we want it, and we're going for it.
I love it. I love it. I see. I want to add a comment to that. Ladies, y'all who are watching tonight, did you hear what Shauna said? Don't wait for them to ask you. If it's yours, create it. Whether you can write it down. I always talk about these smartphones smarter than you. Record yourself saying it. Don't lose it. And trust that thing, that intellect, that notion that's in you. When we look at TikTok and all those different things, how folks are doing stuff, somebody took a risk. Leadership takes a risk. You're your own leader, and you risking on you. Come on, Kim, I see you.
Yes, I just wanted to add that, Black women have always been the infrastructure to
Hmm.
holding movements. I mean, you think about Harriet Tubman, we can go all the way back there. That's what they did. And so we have always been architects of change, of, just making a difference because we get left out if we don't. And what is changing today for us is our willingness to insist that our contributions be recognized, be respected, be funded, be, represented at every decision-making table. I said
Mm-hmm.
to Manzana when we were talking, I said, if we ain't, at the table, then we on the menu and we getting eaten alive. Some of us are. I ain't doing that. So we just the
I ain't
architect.
doing that. I
Mm-mm.
love it. I love it. I'll break this table up. What I'm not going to do be eating any longer. I don't live that life, right? I love it.
Right.
I love it. With all that good stuff, y'all, there's still some challenges out there. There's still
You are
some
correct.
barriers. What'd you say?
I said you are correct.
There's some
There,
barriers. There are some conspiracies that they don't want black women to lead out front. They want us to sit in the back. They want us to sit to the side and address their priorities. How do we move? Is there a possibility to shift? Is that collaboration? Is that us getting stronger by really aligning? Are black women aligned, or are we more sitting by ourselves working out processes?
I hate to
uh,
go. I don't hate to go here. Just real
Mm-mm.
talk.
Real time.
real
We got
talk.
some. we we have some elitism problems
Mm.
that we don't really want to be on. I think, you know, my one of my favorite folks, Joelle from the Normal Anomaly in Houston, always says, "What about the ghetto girls?" Right? Like,
Mhm.
who's looking for the girls in the hood? Who's looking out for? Because Black women, we got to take an honest look at ourselves and who we're including when we talk about the needs of Black women, who we're supporting, who we're elevating, who we're
I love it.
co-creating leadership in, because we got to look beyond the folks who other people have told us are acceptable, who
Right.
other folks have told us check all the boxes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
those
Right.
think that
easy
is one of our
folks.
challenges for real.
Those easy folks.
Hmm.
I often say when I got my first job at Hopkins, I got that job because I was easy. Being this little military brat, I've never been poor. I've never been hungry. I didn't apologize for it. And I don't apologize for that.
That's
My
very
parents'
nice.
decisions, I don't apologize for my upbringing. That's why I got that job. But when you look at the population who needed it, I shouldn't have been the one that was hired. But I was the easy one. And I
Hmm.
think part of my disruption was when I started taking them ladies around the country with me because they would send me. I was easy to represent, right? And because I was bringing the lady with tracks and taking them to thrift stores to teach them how to shop, right? Sometimes people get uncomfortable, but we can't. This work ain't about me and my life experience, my lived experience that I'm leading to bring women to this space, right? Ribbon works is beyond women, but our work has to be all the people. For real, all the people and not just folks who look or sound like me. And you've seen them even on some of our webinars and things. We're constantly like, show up. Don't be apologetic. Everybody has a story, and everybody's story matters. Before we do go any further, guys, I want to have a quick moment. I want to have a quick celebration. I want to give y'all a celebration video on ribbon. I'm going to come back with both a closing thought for my ladies. I'm going to come back with the raffle. We could be talking a lot more, but I got something. When we come back, y'all get ready. I want to ask y'all to complete a sentence. I'm going to ask y'all in the chat to respond. We're going to do something different because I'm always charging you. Don't just be with us on Sheroic Speaks. How do you implement? How do you add this to what you do day to day? Let's take a quick break.
Celebrating 14 years of national impact, global engagement, still learning, still building, still leading. Happy anniversary, Ribbon.
Do y'all ever imagine when you look back, you're like, where did time go?
Okay.
I've learned time goes fast whether you having fun or not.
Oh
Is
yeah.
this
It,
where we
No,
break out
it,
the
no
happy
more of those
birthday
moments.
Stevie Wonder rendition?
Look at
No,
her.
we don't have to do that. We don't have
I'm
time for
just
that. We ain't
playing.
got time for that. We ain't got no time for that. But I do. I wanted the commercial there because I wanted us to take a breath and breathe. Because I keep saying, we're celebrating, right? One of the secret sauce, and I mentioned it earlier, how we've gotten to this 14 years.
Mhm.
We constantly, as a staff and as a team, right now it's the summer. We have self-care Fridays, right? We do things. Our anniversary was the other day. We sent out Uber vouchers to the staff, right? Because part of that is we're creating girl space, even though we work and we celebrate everyone. But there's some unique things. And one thing that Ribbon want, and we share this all the time in our programs and our magazine, everything, is the importance of protecting our peace. So I want to ask Monzel, I'm gonna come to you for a moment.
Okay.
I know the attacks. We had another trans sister who was gonna be with us tonight. They could not. But I was about I don't wanna not say, as we're talking about leadership, what's happening in trans communities, right? Um, and how are you keeping your peace when we all are trying to be erased? But there's separate types of attacks based on how we identify
It's
and where we show up
mhm.
in. So I want to talk how are, and you can't speak for the whole community, but what is peace? How are you doing?
How tensions are high, but of course, because we're lumped all into one big category, and we're so diverse among ourselves. We're hated because of what people think, but they don't know until you actually meet someone. We all want the same thing to everybody as a place to exist, a place to be
Mm,
peace. Most of my kinfolk and within my community, we're barely making it, but we're making it. I mean, it's hard, it's rough. Don't get me wrong, but how I do it, I can't speak for no one else because those doors is never open for me. So I knock them down and open them myself. Okay, and I'm not
wow.
apologizing to anyone for who I am and how I was born as an individual. Because once again, I see everybody as human first before I see labels, genders, and titles. And
I love
once
that.
you got that under your belt and you see people as human beings first, then you can see anything and you can handle anything. I mean, yes, they can say this about us, they can say that about us, but no one truly knows anyone until you actually take the time to bring them to the table, to have that conversation, to talk that hard talk, to ask those hard questions. Because
I
one person
love
don't
it.
change everybody. So that's how me and mine and the people that I'm involved with, how we handle it. Don't get me wrong. It's sometimes you want to bust somebody in their mouth in their face, but you don't get nothing by violence. Because what good that's gonna do? That's just hurting
Right.
them. That's not hurting you. I mean, they'll take a lick and keep it moving and still talk about you the next day. So kill them with kindness. Because nobody know how to handle kindness, but they know how to handle destruction.
Monzel, I will tell you, ladies, I may have to ask y'all tonight for 5 extra minutes. I might have, I'm sorry. Ladies and y'all that's listening, I hope y'all stay with us. Last month, they didn't want me to end, so I hope they stay. Last month, they wanted me to stay on because I was being in my bad advocate mode. I was in the, hey, Vanessa! I just saw Vanessa chat in. Um, Monzel, I called you out, and I'm going to call you out, Shauna, um, because I want you to know where there is an intent, and I know you know this about in making the trans community invisible. And I'm gonna keep
Yes,
saying this to the sisters at Ribbon, at
yes,
Sheroic. We see you, and we are in
yes.
solidarity. And I'm gonna speak to the ladies out there. You know, since we've been out loud, we started Sheroic, this brand, as a brand for women, as a place where you can learn, you can support in solidarity. So I wanted to say that because I get peace and I need to us to shower peace and positive energy, even into our unknown. Because that woman, you may not know her, you may not know her story. Sometimes you can't handle her story. But if you just tap her some peace, you may find yourself in a place where you are blessed. Yeah, I just wanted to say out loud because I don't want. I had a comment last month well, I won't happy. I responded to the person, but
Hmm.
this is a place where we see each other intentionally.
Hmm.
So, Shauna, I want to ask you something real quick. The folks will give me 5 minutes. I know Chris is the producer's like, Lord, here she go. This is the first time we ever went over time, y'all, since we've been doing Shirok almost a year. Shauna, I want to ask you because we haven't talked a lot about. I know Shauna, as I told you in the beginning, Shauna does several things. Shauna has a wonderful program. She do things with young people, youth. Um, and Shauna, when we're thinking about this work, how is it that we're going to prepare the next generation. I don't want us to lose that. There's some young black women. Whether what you tell us what you're doing, or tell us how can we, what can we do to tap in as black? I mean, for not us, just not just us on the screen, like black, all of us. all of us sisters, what could we do to help tap into some of the young Black women, being science, being education? Everybody ain't going to college. Everybody ain't going into the military. How do we really help young Black women navigate this space?
Thank you for that question. And for me, it is sharing what I know. Right? Everyone doesn't have access to certain things, whether it's school, some other form of education, capital, whatever the case may be. But they do have access to people, right? So for me, it is giving what I know to my small rural community. Um, uh, Outside of public health, I also have a background in entrepreneurship. Part of going through that trauma led to me becoming an entrepreneur. And the great thing I like about public health is that the things that I learned in school is, is you can apply it to so many things, right? And so I have a couple of programs in my hometown that I do, and they both are entrepreneurial related. So we're working with a group of women who have product-based businesses, and we're teaching them how to bring those product-based businesses to market. So we're going to have in-person markets for them so they can sell their items. And we're also creating a website for them, an e-commerce site, so that they'll have a space to sell their products, not only locally, but their reach can extend beyond the state. It can be national and perhaps even global. As far as young people, helping them to um, pursue an interest in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, and use that as a way to facilitate an interest in entrepreneurship. So we have programs for them to do that, but we're not leaving the parents out too. So there are opportunities for parents to learn about, financial literacy, because you know what, this is going to take some undoing as far as what we have learned and what we need to know in order to get unstuck. So I say for us, don't wait for permission. Give back what you can. Don't confuse perfection with excellence, and keep learning. Stay curious. Ask those questions. Alfina said before, challenge those answers, and don't underestimate the value of relationships.
I love it. Thank you. I love it. Ladies, I got to get ready to close. I'm coming to you. I got to do the raffle. I got to do the raffle. I got to do they telling me I got to do the raffle. I asked Chris to pull it 3 names out of the raffle, out the wheel. She can pull me 3 names. I see she popped one. If I call your name, please don't text me if you know me. I want you to send an email to Sheroic at ribbon number 3.org. Please don't get me in trouble. Please don't get me. If you text me, it's not going to get to the person who can get you these raffles, right? Tonight we giving out some swag. We're giving out Uber Eats. We gave the staff $28 in Uber Eats. We're going to give out swag and Uber Eats. So you're going to get a double whammy this week. And I got 3 names. I see 2 names popped up. She's over there spinning the wheel. She's going to give me one more. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. All right, the first person, our first winner is Cynthia Mitchell. Just give a hand clap. Cynthia, thank you. You are a winner on the anniversary. How this person win? It's our old girl, it's our friend Denise Drayton. Denise, congratulations, Denise. Denise used to be with Ribbon. See, you can't leave us. You always stay with us. I told her you might be leaving, but you can't leave the clan. I love it. I love it. And the last name is Cynthia Simmons. Ladies, 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 please email us at Sheroic at ribbon number 3.org. It's on the screen right now. Please email us so that we can get the information to get you some goodies out. We got a special gift package for all 3 of you. You're going to get a flood of things for our anniversary, birthday, and for Sheroic. So, but before I let you go, y'all gave me 5 minutes, so I got 4. Delphina, what does the future require for Black women?
The future requires for Black women that we be respected, that would be heard, and that our work be funded. Because if we are sustained, then everybody is sustained.
Wow, wow. Kim, Black women deserve.
The exact same thing Davina said, to be respected, to be funded for these programs, and to be educated. I will say that
Wow.
we gotta
Yeah,
educate our Black. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it, love it. Shauna, one dream for Black women.
one
That
dream.
we
Go ahead.
oh sorry that we become less known for how much we've survived and more for how we boldly live.
Yes.
Bam! I love that. I told someone to stop calling us resilient. We
Yeah.
ain't resilient. Okay, that's another show. Come on, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Manzana, what's one call to action for Black women?
One call. Vote. Get the people to the polls because this year is really needed.
Yeah.
When I tell you, Manzana, ladies, I love this. You vote. Y'all go back and look at the show from last month, the July show.
Hmm.
Go and find it on Facebook or YouTube. You vote, and you require your family to vote.
To
That's
vote.
it.
It
Held
is a
everyone accountable.
requirement. It's
That's
a
it.
requirement for our bloodline to vote.
That's it.
Exactly.
I won't tell them who to vote for.
Yep.
Ladies, it is detrimental that this year you get out and vote. Get
Mm-hmm.
out. Make your fam, make them accountable. Let me stop. Y'all going I don't need no 5 more minutes. Ladies, this has been wonderful. Again, ladies, you are heroic. I hope you know you're heroic. The ladies out there, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, drop in the comment. I am heroic. Again, I am Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. It's been my pleasure, my honor to have you with us in studio. Ladies that are watching, it is our honor, our pleasure to have you to spend time with us. Please, please do me a favor intentionally. This month, while Ribbon's celebrating, you celebrate. Because you're heroic is why Ribbon is. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. Have a great evening.